One of the biggest moments in Star Wars, at least the prequel trilogy, was when Anakin slaughtered the Tusken Raiders in Episode 2 Attack of the Clones. This was a moment, especially in the novelization of the movie, that really plunged Anakin into the dark side for the first real time. He did atrocious things to the Tuskens, and the book explains it in much greater detail than the film ever did. Things like throwing boulders on them, moving extremely fast using force speed to travel through the camp, just absolutely annihilating everything in his path. I've covered a video on it a long time ago, but today I want to talk about how Obi-Wan knew about Anakin's Tusken Raider slaughter. And this isn't something that we really learn about from the films at all. In fact, the only bit of info we get about anybody knowing about this is from Revenge of the Sith on the Invisible Hand ship after Anakin defeats Count Dooku. When he frees Palpatine and the senator says, "Remember what you told me about your mother and the Sen people?" And of course we get the echoing of a Tusken Raider to remind us of what Anakin did during the slaughter. So in fact, Obi-Wan did know about what Anakin did that day. This excerpt comes from Dark Lord: The Rise of Darth Vader, which is a novel I really enjoy. It came out in 2005 and it covers the events of Darth Vader after Revenge of the Sith, as well as Obi-Wan Kenobi on Tatooine, and kind of shows the dark and light sides of the Force, essentially, with Vader and Obi-Wan's trials and tribulations and their whole journey as they're coming to find themselves through something that they were both part of. And then there are my allies. I can never assume what the Tuskens will do. They are capable of unforgivable things. I know what a group did to Anakin's mother a few years ago. Padme told me that much. I always felt there was something more than she wasn't telling me. Maybe something that had to do with Anakin's fate. I don't know that I'll find those secrets here, but a Yark, at least, seems to feel responsible for her people. I will hope that Oren admits his guilt and turns back, but if he doesn't, I must try to prevent further harm all around. So while Obi-Wan, of course, wasn't told in great detail about what Anakin did, like what Anakin had told Padme, not just the men, but the women and the children too, you know that Obi-Wan is feeling out in the Force and was able to actually tell what Anakin did. And I quote, "Maybe something that had to do with Anakin's fate." And this, of course, is really something that makes you think, because if Obi-Wan just maybe had a little more insight in that moment into what Anakin had done, he could have maybe stopped a massive train wreck, which was Anakin turning to the dark side. Because once you get a taste of the dark side, it's pretty much too late. Forever will it dominate your destiny. And when Padme was telling Obi-Wan about what had happened with the Tuskens and Anakin's mother, he was able to feel that there was something more to this story. And I think it's pretty fun to wonder, what if Obi-Wan did know everything to do with that story? Would he have told the Jedi Council? Would Anakin have been expelled? I mean, Yoda was able to feel the disturbance in the Force, great pain, terrible pain with Anakin as he tells Mace Windu. And it kind of just makes me wonder, did they not investigate further about Anakin? I mean, did they just kind of let it go? If you're chosen one student of your temple who is supposed to bring balance to the Force, and you already know has a propensity to have issues and anger and attachments after coming to the temple as a slave at age of 9, leaving his mother behind, and now you feel that he's having major pain, terrible pain, I would have definitely pulled Anakin aside and been like, "Hey, what's going on? I felt something in the Force." And Anakin, of course, who has like the worst poker face possible, would have probably let something slip, and Yoda could have gone deeper in there and figured out what had happened. Now, if the council knew of what Anakin had done with the Tusken Raiders, I do believe he would have been expelled. I don't think that's something that would have been looked over lightly or glossed over. I think definitely Mace Windu would have voted to just kick him out of the temple for good. And I think it would have been settled that he probably would have been kicked out if Obi-Wan wouldn't step up and negotiate his position. That Anakin is young, he has much to learn, and that he had come to see his mother's death at the hands of the Tuskens. It's a bit of a hairy situation, but I think this questions a very interesting fan fiction regarding what if the council knew about Anakin's true slaughter of the Tusken Raiders. What would they have done? I want you guys to let me know in the comments below, and I'm going to go out and make that fan fiction because I think it'll be really cool. Personally, I think it could go two ways. Either Anakin gets kicked out and Palpatine hires him to be his own personal guard and confidant, which would then cause lots of issues with Padme, of course, but then they wouldn't have to be a secret anymore. Or it could cause another rift where Obi-Wan fights for Anakin's position and convinces the council that he has much to learn and he's just young, and that we need to use this opportunity to teach him the way of the Jedi instead of abandoning him like everyone else. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thanks for watching today's video, and also share your thoughts on that fanfiction, which I'm really excited to make, as well as write some other fanfiction topics you may want to see in the future. Thanks for checking today's video out. Catch you on the next one. Until then, remember, the Force will be with you always.